guys are fanning the embers of hatred between Igbos and Yoruba people. What will happen to Davido and Chioma? Till now, it has been weeks. The DSS that could safely identify end bad governance protesters and their account is yet to bring the Yoruba guy that made that post on Lagospedia to justice. How? Why didn't Abike Dabiri cry foul when Lagospedia Facebook handle was used to make such inflammatory statement against the Igbos? So if Remi Tinubu can make that statement without consequence, why won't Amaka Sunnberger believe that she can make such a statement too? If you're a Yoruba man and God has destined that you will succeed under an Igbo man, if you're an Igbo man and God has destined that you succeed under a Yoruba man, you are now hating that ethnic tribe, that tribe that God has destined that you will succeed. Excuse me, how do you want to succeed? And after Igbo and Nnamdi Kanu committed almost the same offense. Nigerian government, the present government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, pardoned Sunday Igbo tribe. You expect me to now hate Igbo people for no just reason? Why? Because Igbo's people have failed to vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right? Because Igbo people have failed to vote your way. It's not that they are committing suicide bombing. No, you just want me to hate them because they failed to vote for APC. The APC is in power. What has our brother Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what has he done with that power? Is it not the same market that all of us are going to? One man, whether you are a king, whether you are a pastor, if you make inflammatory statement, face the law. If Igbo man or woman make inflammatory statement, face the law. Hello, great people. The media has been awash with story of how a Canadian-based Igbo woman, Amaka Sunnberger, made an outburst that Yoruba and Edo people are going to be poisoned. In this episode of Politics with Omosholadeji, I'll be giving you in-depth analysis of why you can and not blame Amaka. Now, it's going to be twofold. Why you can blame Amaka and why you shouldn't dare try to blame Amaka. So, if you love the truth, if you don't belong to the categories of those people that have been deep into ethnic hatred, now this is the video for you to watch, for you to hear the true story of why Amaka could have acted that way, why we should blame her, and why we should not blame her. So I can give a caveat that if you are part of the Yoruba people that has been awashed with ethnic hatred, I think this is the time to stop watching this video, because I will tell you some uncomfortable truth. Well, I'm a Yoruba man like you, but if you like to hear the truth, if you are comfortable with the truth, well, sit back, relax, follow me through this short journey, and by the end of this video, we would have arrived at somewhere, and definitely we would have learned something from each other. First, let me start by blaming Amaka Sunnberger. Her outburst, to me, is absolutely unnecessary. Our outburst is genocidal. Our outburst signifies that of ethnic hatred. It signifies that of ethnic jingoism. Now, I thoroughly blame Amaka, and I think that she should be held accountable, investigated for her outburst. Now, having said that, we'll be doing great injustice to the issue and Amaka herself if we only criticize her but fail to go into what could have made Amaka to bring out such an outburst. What could have made Amaka to make such a statement? So that also needs to be investigated. And in this episode, I'm going to be bringing you my findings of my own personal investigation as a researcher of what could have made Amaka to make such a violent outburst. First, to start with, before I go into that, now, Abike Dabiri criticized Amaka, and her pictures is circulating all over the place. Now, the Nigerian government has also taken action against Amaka. Is that the way, or should I say the best way for government to bring someone to book? If somebody have created a wrong and you circulated a picture everywhere, you have put that lady, that Amaka lady, you have put her at risk. Because now her picture is everywhere, and I can tell you that she herself is not safe anymore. Because what if she goes out and a Yoruba man or an Hausa man or anybody that just seems not to like her face sees her and decide to attack her? What if she dies in the process? It is somebody that is alive, that is breathing, that can face the consequence of her actions. So I believe government should know better about how to make people face the consequence of her actions. And this action whereby her picture is now circulating all over the media, local and international, I think it is babyish of the government of Nigeria to afford circulate her picture, because that is not the best way to bring her to book. The best way to bring her to book is to report her to the Canadian authorities, to report her to Nigerian immigration. If you want her to stand trial or anything, anytime any year she comes to Nigeria, and it even makes it easy. If you report her and she didn't know, definitely she's just going to walk into your trap by coming into Nigeria one day. But now that you've circulated her picture, she already knows that she's in your bad books. So what will inspire her to come to Nigeria? And don't forget that she's a Canadian citizen, where there is light, where there is electricity, where there is no disobedience of court order, where there is rule of law. So what will inspire her to leave such an environment and come into your country where there is so much economic, downturn? So the truth is, circulating her picture all over the media space is a no for me on the part of government. So I think Abike Dabiri, as much as she could say that, okay, she is acting right to the best of her knowledge, which I believe that her action is partial, but I will get into that. I believe circulating her picture is absolutely unnecessary, because you are putting the lady herself, you are putting her at risk. Because what if she's attacked tomorrow and she dies in the process? What will you say? Now, let us look at it. You see, if you hate your fellow ethnic group, you are an ethnic terrorist. Yes, you are an ethnic terrorist. Because if you say Boko Haram, ISIS, those ones are religious terrorists. They are the people that takes religion from the extreme. So if you hate Boko Haram, if you hate ISIS, but you have immense hatred for your fellow ethnic group, your other ethnic group, despite knowing that your fingers are not equal, but you expect everybody to be like you expect everybody to reason like you don't want to dialogue with other people, you are an ethnic terrorist. You are not different from Boko Haram or ISIS. The only difference between you and Boko Haram and ISIS is that their own is religious, while yours is ethnic, but you both are terrorists. So if you hate ISIS, you hate Boko Haram, and you have ethnic hatred, whether you are Igbo, whether you are Yoruba, desist from ethnic terrorism. That's what I can advise you. Desist from ethnic terrorism, because if you hate your fellow ethnic group, you are a terrorist. I can tell you that for free. Now, it is best to be a detribalized Nigerian, whereby you don't let ethnicity to influence how you act or how you react. Well, all the ethnicity, what has it done for you anyway? If you're a Yoruba man, Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been in power. What has his presidency done for you? If you're an Igbo man, if it is Peter Obi that is in power, the presidency may not, at the end of the day, done anything for you. Buhari spent 8 years in office. What has his ethnicity done for people in Daura, people in the north? There's still immense poverty in the north. If the pictures and video that we saw during the recent End Bad Governance protest is anything to go by. Now, let's remember that every human being have their own stretch limit. Every human being have their own stretch limit. So Amaka would have reached a stretch limit. Why could she have reached that stretch limit? Is because of the decades and years of injustice and impunity. Don't forget that it is not everybody that can take things the way others will take it. For instance, you can be coping with the misgovernance in Nigeria. You can be coping with the lack of amenities. But somebody like Omoyele Sowore has found it difficult to cope with the performance of the Nigerian government, and that is why Omoyele has been protesting and will keep protesting. Because why? His own stretch limit is very, very short. He doesn't have the kind of calmness that you have. He doesn't have the kind of tolerance that you have. So that is why the likes of Omoyele Sowore, the likes of Deji Adeyanju have always been protesting, and they will keep protesting. So when you blame them for protesting, you are doing injustice to them. Rather than for you to blame them, why not advocate that government should do the right thing so that they have nothing to protest about? Now, in context, in this story of Amaka, rather than blame Amaka so much as she can be blamed, why not advocate for justice, rule of law, and fairness in Nigeria? So that if there is rule of law, if there is fairness, if there is equity, if there is justice, Amaka will have no outburst to make. That is just the truth. So the thing is, for me, I believe that Amaka has reached a stretch limit. And don't forget that, for me, I strongly believe that Igbos have suffered most in Nigeria. Nigeria has over 250 ethnic groups, but we have three major ethnic groups: the Hausa, the Igbo, and the Yoruba. So if we are to base this on these three ethnic groups, Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba, and we begin to assess inter-ethnic relations among these three major ethnic groups in Nigeria, which one has faced the most injustice from the other ethnic groups? My dear brothers and sisters, it is unarguably the Igbos, because Hausa have not been in direct confrontation on a large scale with the Yoruba people. We might have Hausa Fulani versus Yoruba boys clash in Lagos, in Ogun occasionally, but you can't compare that to the civil war. The losses that was witnessed by the Yorubas and the Hausas in this pocket of interethnic clashes can never be compared to the loss that was made by the Igbos during the civil war. So the thing is, during those civil war, there are Igbos that lost their investment. There are Igbo people that lost their houses. There are Igbo people that lost families. There are Igbo people that starved to death. So as Hausa and Yoruba, have they ever been in such confrontation? The answer is no. As Hausa people ever suffer such loss in Nigeria? No. As Yoruba people ever suffer such loss in Nigeria? No. So the truth is, the kind of loss that Igbos have suffered, definitely no other ethnic group have suffered it, sincerely, for the 3 years of the civil war. Now, who knows whether Amaka's brother or grandfather was one of those people that suffered monumental losses during the civil war? Do you know whether it is the civil war that wrecked Amaka's father? Not until you sit Amaka down and you interrogate her and say, okay, apart from having, a short stretch limit, like I explained earlier, what could have caused these your actions? I'm sure Amaka will have something to say about how ethnic hatred in Nigeria that is being facilitated by politicians recently have made her to kind of like make such an illogical outburst. So the justice for Amaka in this case is not only to make sure that she faced the music of the outburst, but also investigating her and addressing what could have made her to make such outburst, so that other Igbo people and other ethnic groups will not be tempted to make such outbursts, and anything that pertains to hatred that is inside anybody in Nigeria, whether you are Igbo, whether you are Hausa, whether you are Ijo, whether you are Ibibio, can be addressed. It starts with justice. So if there is no justice, you can't escape all this kind of outburst. So for me, there is an injustice that made her, the woman Amaka, to make such outburst. And if you want to hear the truth, Yorubas have been making inflammatory statements without consequences. So Amaka too thinks that she can. So if you live in a country, if you exist in a society whereby people have been making inflammatory statements, people have been saying all sorts of things, people have been saying things that are bad and terrible, and they are not facing any consequence for their actions, what makes you think that Amaka won't be emboldened to make such statement? What is good for the goose is good for the gander. So the people that are making inflammatory statements, that are making terrible statements against the Igbo people, what has the government of Nigeria done to them? When Oba Akiolu said that the Igbos, we should either vote for, I think, is it ACN at that time or this new APC during the election, why didn't Oba Akiolu face the law? Why wasn't Oba Akiolu dragged before the DSS to explain himself for making such inflammatory statement? Why wasn't Oba Akiolu dragged before a competent court of law to face the music for making such a statement? If Oba Akiolu made that statement, despite the fact that Oba Akiolu has more followership, Oba Akiolu is more influential, his statements carries more weight, his statements carry more command than that of Amaka. Amaka became, known just recently. Oba Akiolu is the custodian of culture in a particular place in Yoruba land. If such a person made such inflammatory statement that Igbo people, a whole ethnic race, will go and die in the lagoon, let's be sincere with ourselves, and is not brought to justice till now, what will you say would discourage somebody like Amaka from making such a statement? So if you want to discourage somebody like Amaka from making such a statement, you should have brought Oba Akiolu to book. By bringing Oba Akiolu to book, even Amaka would not have anything to talk about. Now, part of the injustice that I'm saying that has been existing against the Igbos in Yoruba land is, don't forget that during the election, when they were saying that if Igbos did not vote for APC, that Igbos must go, there was one, I think, Eze Indigbo or something like that, that made a statement that their Igbo brothers will now be brought in to also begin to attack Yoruba people, that if Yorubas attack them, that Nigeria belongs to all of us. That man, the Eze Indigbo, was charged to court, and the man is still in prison by now. So a man made a retaliatory statement. Take note, a retaliatory statement. A statement was first made. The man made a retaliatory statement. The government of Lagos and Nigeria charged the man to court, sentenced the man. The man is in prison. Those that first made the statement that made the man to make a retaliatory statement were not charged to court. Nothing has happened to them. So why do you expect that somebody like Amaka would not be encouraged to make such a statement when the injustice is so glaring, when the injustice is so unimaginable? You may not like what I'm saying if you are a Yoruba man. Well, you are not more Yoruba than me, but the truth has to be said, because we can only thrive in a society whereby justice reigns. And if you have not lived your comfort zone in Yoruba land before, you will not know that in Igbo land, there are also Yoruba people there. There are also Yoruba people doing business in Igbo land. The percentage may be greater. We may have more Igbo people here in the southwest than the Yoruba people you have in the southeast. But the truth is, there are Yoruba people there. There are intertribal marriages. For instance, the marriage of Davido and Chioma is a perfect example. So if you guys are fanning the embers of hatred between Igbos and Yoruba people, what will happen to Davido and Chioma? If you begin to do injustice to Igbo people, if you begin to attack them, if you begin to send them away, if Chioma wakes up, won't she feel bad that, our people are being attacked? What is now the fate of the marriage between, she and Davido? They have twins together. Those twins are Yoruba Igbos. What will happen to them? So we have kind of like cohabited. We have kind of like, to use street balance, entered each other, that we cannot afford ethnic hatred. And one of the ways to kill ethnic hatred is to bring people that bring about this hatred to justice. Just as the likes of Oba Akiolu that I just mentioned. Why was he not brought to law? Another thing is the Lagospedia recently that was posted that Igbos must go, and he made inflammatory statement against Igbo people. Now, the Lagos State Deputy Governor, this man, Obafemi Hamzat, made a statement on Arise News that the DSS is investigating and they will bring the person behind that statement to justice. Till now, it has been weeks. The DSS that could safely identify and bad governance protesters and their account is yet to bring the Yoruba guy that made that post on Lagospedia to justice. So it shows that government is not serious. But somebody made a statement which can be compared to the guy that made the post on Lagospedia. Nigerian government and the likes of Abike Dabiri are now crying foul. Why didn't Abike Dabiri cry foul when Lagospedia Facebook handle was used to make such inflammatory statement against the Igbos? These are some hard truths that we may not like to hear. These are some hard truths that we may not like to live with. But the truth is the truth. Because if you ever dream of taking a visa, if you ever dream of living abroad, to use the popular word, japa, if you ever dream of japaing, my dear brothers and sisters, you are not going there to live with Igbos. Oh. You still see Igbos every day. You guys grew up together. You understand yourself. You are going to live among Europeans. That their culture, their orientation is totally different from yours. You are going to live among Americans. You are going to live among Asians, among Chinese. So ask yourself, do you deserve a visa? Are you worthy of living abroad? If all you think in your life is ethnic hatred, if all you think in your life is how to hate Igbo people, how to hate Yoruba people, how to hate Hausa people, if that is all you think in your life, do you deserve a visa to Japa? You don't deserve a visa. That is just it, because if you cannot cope with people that you grew up with, people that you are seeing every day, you want to go and cope and live among Europeans? No. So the thing is, when all this inflammatory statement was being made, when Lagospedia made that post, where was Abike Dabiri at that time to have come out and condemn it? You can say that she belongs to the Diaspora Commission, Nigeria Diaspora Commission. But the fact is that she's the chairman of Nigeria Diaspora Commission doesn't make her less Nigerian, doesn't deny her the right to make comment on national issues, on local issues. So that she's the chairman of Nigeria Diaspora Commission doesn't restrict her from making comment against Obakiolu, doesn't restrict her from making comment against Lagospedia for their hateful speech against the Igbos. But she didn't say anything. Suddenly, Amaka Sunnberger just made a statement, and Abike Dabiri was all over the place, screaming, shouting. Who are we deceiving? What has Abike Dabiri done to make sure that Nigerians in diaspora, the Nigerians languishing in prison, there are some Nigerians that are innocent. Some, it is a little fine that they need, as little as maybe $100, $500, $1,000 fine that is keeping them in foreign prison. Some, it is return ticket back home that is keeping them in foreign prison. What has our sister Abike Dabiri done to make sure that those people that are living abroad or that are facing pain are brought back to Nigeria, or they settle their fine abroad? You know, not much has been done. But when Amaka made her own statement, Abike Dabiri suddenly woke up from slumber and remembered that, oh, an inflammatory statement has been made. So all this kind of injustice, selective justice, is what made Amaka, and the more people like Amaka will still make that statement. And let us thank ourselves that Amaka even made the statement. What if she didn't make the statement and she's just living with the hatred for no reason, whereby any Yoruba or any Hausa that comes her way, she's just maltreating them? What could have happened? Is that not worst? So I am grateful that Amaka expressed her mind, and maybe there might be some good people that can reorientate her, that can make her realize that, oh, our assertion is false and absolutely unnecessary, and that is not the right way to go. Remi Tinubu made an inflammatory statement, the First Lady, wife of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. What has the security agencies done about Remi Tinubu's statement? During election, why is it that they are always against Igbo people during election? But after election, you want their task. When they are renting your houses, your hotel in Yoruba land, you are comfortable with them. When they are doing their business, you want to collect tax from them. It is okay by you. But suddenly when it comes to politics, you want to turn them into a conquered territory. When the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gives everybody liberty of who to vote for. So you cannot say, oh, because you are in Yoruba land, so you must vote for APC. No. An Igbo man can decide to go and vote for PDP, can decide to go and vote for Labour Party, ANPP, NNPP, so long as that person is a valid candidate that is validly nominated by the party and recognized by INEC. So if you put up this ethnic hatred for political reason, you've forgotten that the political season will go. What will now happen after the political season? When Remi Tinubu made the statement against Igbo that, oh, you people cannot be trusted, imagine somebody that has so much political capital, somebody who we can regard as a strong political influencer, making such a statement. Look at the weight of that statement. Look at the consequence of that statement. If I was the one that made that statement, I don't have the kind of popularity that Remi Tinubu has. Maybe it is just maybe 1 people or 2 people or maybe 1,000 people that will hear the statement. You know, thank God for the advent of social media. But when people like Remi Tinubu speaks, her statement has a lot of influence on different kind of people. So when she made that statement, the DSS at the time, it wasn't her husband that was the president. The DSS did not caution her that year when she made that statement. Nothing was done. Is Remi Tinubu above the law? So if Remi Tinubu can make that statement without consequence, why won't Amaka Sunnberger believe that she can make such a statement too? So the thing is, so much as we want to abuse Amaka, so much as we want to criticize her, let us look at the injustice that has brought about her action. Then we can begin to do justice to the matter. But so long as we just want to blame Amaka, or you just want to say, oh, you hate Igbo people or you hate Yoruba people, no. Because at the end of the day, you don't know who is destined to help you. If you are a Yoruba man and God has destined that you will succeed under an Igbo man, if you are an Igbo man and God has destined that you succeed under a Yoruba man, you are now hating that ethnic tribe. You know, that tribe that God has destined that you will succeed. Excuse me, how do you want to succeed? And I've said it that if you so much hate the Igbos, if you so much hate them, don't relate with any Igbos and see whether you won't feel the inconvenience. If you go to Ladipo and you want to buy spare parts, say no, you are looking for Yoruba shop, and see how easy it will be to get a Yoruba shop. If you are an Igbo man, if you hate Yoruba and you studied in Yoruba land, go back to that school, Unilag, Osu, you know, OAU, you know, Redeemer University, all these schools in Yoruba land. If you go to their university and you are now, you know, prophesying hatred against Yoruba people, go and return that certificate that you got in Yoruba land. I doubt if any civilized people, anybody that has been in a multi-ethnic, multicultural environment will be expressing hatred against another ethnic tribe. So the truth is, when injustice, when inflammatory statements are made by the high and mighty in Yoruba land and nothing is done, what do you expect Amaka to do? And if Amaka made that statement and you are criticizing and you didn't bring out a book, is it fair? Obakiolu made his own statement. The handler of Lagospedia made his own inflammatory statement. Remi Tinubu, the wife of the president, made her own inflammatory statement that year. Nothing has happened to them. And now, you want to cut Amaka's neck because she made only one statement. Does Amaka have the kind of influence that Obakiolu has? Does her statement have influence on people to misbehave or to use it as a source of influence for their actions, like the statement of Remi Tinubu or the statement of Obakiolu? So let's be sincere with ourselves. Let us create an atmosphere of justice. Then let us look at this thing from another perspective. Igbo and Nnamdi Kanu committed almost the same offense. Nigerian government, the present government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, pardoned Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho was calling for secession, for Nigeria to secede. He was calling for the emergence of a Yoruba nation. Nnamdi Kanu was calling for the emergence of Biafra. So the offense that they committed is very synonymous. But the government came into power and pardoned Sunday Igboho. Sunday Igboho came into Nigeria for the burial of his mother. Nothing was done to my beloved brother Sunday Igboho. Nothing was done to him. He's a free man. He's working freely. But Nnamdi Kanu, that committed the same offense, is still in prison and his trial has dragged on for long, from the Supreme Court back to the High Court. And his trial has dragged on and on. Is there justice in that? And to the best of my knowledge, I stand to be corrected. I stand to be corrected. I've not seen where Nnamdi Kanu was brandishing firearms. If you know of such video, please tag the link in the comment section. I want to see the video of where Nnamdi Kanu was brandishing firearms. But Asari Dokubo, a strong supporter of the president, that supported the president strongly during the election, has made inflammatory statement that if they didn't hand over to Bola Ahmed Tinubu after INEC declaring him the winner, that if they install an interim national government, that there will be trouble in the country. He brought militants from Niger Delta to Abuja during when Supreme Court was given its ruling. And we've seen videos where Asari Dokubo was brandishing firearms. My dear people, nothing has happened to Asari Dokubo. So if nothing has happened to Asari Dokubo, that is publicly boasting. Look at this End Bad Governance protest, that he was threatening the protesters. Nothing has happened to him. But Nnamdi Kanu, that have not seen brandishing firearms, is still languishing in prison. He's still in custody. Is there justice in that? If Nnamdi Kanu is languishing in custody, if Eze Indigbo of Lagos is languishing in prison now, and other people that have made inflammatory statement, the Lagospedia guy, Obakiolu of Lagos, the First Lady of Nigeria, Remi Tinubu, if nothing has happened to them, do you think that somebody like Amaka, if she has a short stretch limit, do you think that she won't be displeased? Let us be sincere with ourselves. Let us be realistic. So the truth about this thing is, Amaka should face the consequence of her action, but to curb this thing going forward, there should be justice. Don't think that you can, because you are a political party, you want to dictate where how an ethnic group should vote. No, it won't work. If Igbos, and from the result of the election, the performance in Lagos, is it only Igbo that voted for Peter Obi? No. We have some Yoruba youth that his idea of obedience, of consumption to production, resonated with them. And the truth is, it will be a political overrating for you to say, oh, Peter Obi was behind the End Bad Governance protest. No. I've never met Peter Obi. I'm not a supporter of Labour Party. But the truth has to be said for posterity's sake. Because this video that I'm making, if Nigeria survived all this ethnic hatred, one day the historians, the archaeologists, the sociologists will be looking for document video that how did Nigeria overcome ethnic hatred that was prevalent at one point in time. Maybe they will come across this video and see that, oh, one Omosoladeji was one of the voice of reasoning at that time. And if this ethnic hatred eventually ruined Nigeria, one day archaeologists, sociologists, political scientists will be doing research about why ethnic hatred ruined Nigeria. They may come across this video and see that, oh, there was a voice of reason at that point in time that wasn't listening, that I wasn't listening to. So the truth is, it is only justice. You cannot say, oh, these people should vote this way. No. If the protests that emerge in the north is anything to go by, it shows that there's true hunger in the land. And Peter Obi does not have the capacity. He does not have the political capital. It will be political overrating. Because Peter Obi does not have such solid ground in the north to have influenced such a massive protest. So, government officials, ethnic people that are politicizing the protest and blaming it of Peter Obi, I think they should be ashamed of themselves, sincerely. Because Peter Obi does not have what it takes to influence such a protest in the north. It will be political overrating. You are overrating, the political coverage of Peter Obi. So that means you are giving Peter Obi free publicity. It shows that there is true hunger in the land. So what we need is justice. We've come a long way. And I said it before, that the first time that I will travel out of this country, one of the people that was influential, that assisted me, is an Igbo guy by the name Nwokeke. Nwokeke was the one who helped me. When I got to the embassy in Abuja, Nwokeke told me that, oh, there will be queue, there will be stress, it's going to take time. There was an Igbo woman working in that embassy that year. Nwokeke gave me the contact of that woman from abroad. The woman saw me, collected my document, processed it. Visa wasn't as hard like this then. The next day I got my visa. And to tell you the truth, the woman did not request any money from me. So if an Igbo person have done that for me, and I've been opportune to study in different continents, Africa, Europe, Asia, up to PhD level, and I've lived with Europeans, I've lived with Chinese, I've lived with, Asians, Singaporeans, different ethnic tribe. You expect me to now hate Igbo people for no just reason. Why? Because Igbos people have failed to vote for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, right? Because Igbo people have failed to vote your way. It's not that they are committing suicide bombing, no. You just want me to hate them because they failed to vote for APC. The APC is in power. What has our brother Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what has he done with that power? Is it not the same market that all of us are going to? The rain, not be all of us in the beat. So let us receive some sense. Don't let us be an instrument in the hands of politicians. Because at the end of the day, the son of Peter Obi and the son of Tinubu, when they meet themselves, they will hug, they will shake themselves. When Tinubu sees Peter Obi now, he will be happy. They will embrace themselves. If Peter Obi call Bola Ahmed Tinubu that, oh, Mr. President, sir, my son is in trouble, the president will immediately unleash his capacity to make sure that Peter Obi's son is rescued. So they know how to manage themselves. They belong to a political elitist class. You that you don't have anything, you that you don't have any influence, you are hating the Igbo man that can help you. You are hating the Yoruba man that can help you. Please, you need a kind of like reorientation. And I believe that we are good together, and any kind of hatred amongst the ethnic group can be eradicated if there is justice in the land. If a Yoruba man, whether you are a king, whether you are a pastor, if you make inflammatory statement, face the law. If Igbo man or woman make inflammatory statement, face the law. All these things will stop. But so long as some people are higher than the other in the society, definitely people will react. People will revolt. And those are one of the reasons why Amaka made such statement. It's been an interesting time on this episode with you. I remember my humble self, Dr. Omosholadeji, your political scientist, public affairs analyst. Trust me, I'm the one that bring you the insightful, the true analysis. If you like it hot, if you like it real, if you like it factual, this is the channel to watch. So if you come across this video and you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe and turn on the notification button. If you are yet to turn on the notification button but you subscribe, you're missing a lot. Turn on the notification button and let's always make it real. Till I see you very soon. I'm not always far from you. I remember my humble self, Dr. Omosholadeji, political scientist, public affairs analyst. Stay safe, stay blessed. I love you all sincerely.